If you've been working hard to lose weight, but the scale refuses to move, the issue is very often your liver. When the liver becomes sluggish or overloaded, its ability to burn fat drops sharply. And instead of using fat for energy, the body ends up storing it again. The encouraging part is this: that process can be reversed, and often faster than people expect. There are 7 common everyday foods that many people ignore, yet they help the liver clear out what's been slowing it down and switch fat burning back on. 7 lemon. We'll begin with number 7, because this step reduces strain on your liver before your day has even started. When you wake up in the morning, your liver has been working at a much slower rate for several hours. During sleep, you haven't eaten, you haven't hydrated, and the bile your liver depends on to move waste out of the body has been sitting still all night. As a result, that bile becomes thicker and more concentrated. When the day begins, your liver is forced to push something that's closer to sludge than a free-flowing liquid. That's why what you drink first thing in the morning matters far more than most people realize. One of the simplest and most effective options is lemon water. Here's why it works. The natural acidity of lemon immediately stimulates the digestive system, sending a signal to both the liver and the gallbladder to release a fresh flow of bile. This new bile is thinner and moves more easily, helping flush out material that's been sitting there overnight. That alone helps the liver operate more efficiently. But lemon does more than just get bile moving. It also offers protection. Lemons contain compounds that support the liver's ability to defend its cells against daily wear and tear from toxins. Historically, sailors carried lemons on long sea voyages because these compounds slowed food spoilage by reducing oxidative damage. That same protective effect is relevant to your liver, which deals with oxidative stress every single day. If you want to use lemon water first thing in the morning, here's the best way to do it. Squeeze half a fresh lemon into about 8 to 12 ounces of water. Warm or room temperature water is usually ideal because it's gentler on digestion right after waking. Hot water is best avoided since it can reduce the effectiveness of some beneficial compounds. Drink it as soon as you wake up before coffee or any food so your liver receives the first signal of the day. Using a straw can help protect your teeth, and it's a good idea to rinse your mouth afterward because of the acidity. If the taste feels too sharp, simply add more water. Diluting it doesn't reduce the benefits and often makes it easier to drink. You can also drop pieces of the lemon peel directly into the water and let them sit for a bit. This allows additional beneficial compounds to diffuse into the drink. There's no real downside to using more water or including the peel, and if you enjoy it, you can sip lemon water throughout the day or have a cup before meals to support digestion even further. Number 6, garlic. When it comes to turning fat burning back on, there is one metabolic signal that can shut the whole process down, and that signal is insulin. If your liver stops responding to insulin the way it should, it defaults to storing fat instead of using it. And that single shift can cancel out many of the positive changes we've talked about up to this point. The surprising part is that one of the simplest foods can help clear that signal and get the liver responding again. That food is garlic. Garlic has been used as a healing staple for thousands of years, long before people even understood what the liver did. Traditional healers reached for it whenever someone felt heavy, sluggish, bloated, or backed up. Today we understand that those feelings often connect to insulin issues and metabolic slowdowns. So, what is garlic doing behind the scenes? The compound responsible for garlic's strong smell and bite is allicin. Allicin helps improve the liver's sensitivity to insulin. It does this by calming irritation inside the liver and supporting blood flow that liver cells depend on to function properly. And once those liver cells can respond to insulin again, the liver stops shuttling calories into storage so easily and starts burning more of that energy as fuel. That is the shift you want when you're trying to lose fat. Garlic also has research showing it can help reduce fat stored inside the liver itself. And that point matters, because liver fat often needs to come down first before noticeable progress with overall body fat loss starts to happen. For liver support, fresh garlic is the best option whenever you can use it. Mince 1 clove and let it sit on the counter for about 10 minutes before adding it to a dish. That resting time helps activate more allicin, which is the compound your liver recognizes and responds to. If raw garlic feels too intense, lightly sauté it, or blend it into something like hummus. You'll still get most of the benefits without the harsh bite. And if you prefer a supplement, look for products that contain aged garlic extract, or a formula standardized for allicin. Those are the forms tied most closely to the compounds the liver responds to. As for timing, it's not critical, take it whenever it fits your day. The most important factor is consistency, because regular use is what helps strengthen the liver's insulin response over time. Number 5, artichoke. This next point matters more than most people realize, because even when your liver is flowing better and clearing waste more efficiently, there is still one factor that determines whether fat burning stays strong long term. And that is the condition of the liver cells themselves. If those cells remain irritated, inflamed, or worn down, your liver ends up spending most of its energy protecting itself instead of doing what you want it to do, processing fat properly and managing calories efficiently. And this is where one food steps in and does something the others don't. That food is artichoke. Artichoke contains unique natural compounds, and the most important one is cynurin. Cynurin helps calm irritated liver cells, so they can finally begin repairing the damage they've been dealing with. When irritation inside the liver drops, those same cells start functioning the way they're designed to, which means they burn fat more effectively and respond better to the signals that tell them how to handle the calories you eat. If you want to use artichoke for liver support, the simplest approach is just to eat it. The artichoke heart is easy, delicious, and most people tolerate it very well. Steamed is great. Roasted is even better. You can also buy jarred artichoke hearts that are already prepared, which makes it simple to include regularly without extra cooking. Just be mindful of how you use it. Ideally, don't turn it into a reason to eat a massive bowl of spinach artichoke dip with chips. But you absolutely can make satisfying meals with artichoke hearts. One of my favorites is adding them on top of chicken breasts sometimes, with a bit of cheese as part of the dish. It tastes great, and it's a practical way to get artichoke into your routine. Now, if you want the stronger liver effects seen in research, the form used most often is artichoke leaf extract. The leaves are where the highest concentration of cynurin is found. In studies, this is typically taken as capsules or tinctures made from the leaves. You don't need huge amounts. Just follow the serving size listed on the product. And here's something most people miss if you cook whole artichokes. The outer leaves actually contain more of the beneficial compounds than the heart itself. So, don't only focus on the soft center, enjoy those outer leaves too. The outside is where a lot of the liver-supporting compounds are concentrated. And again, for anyone who prefers a capsule, I also include artichoke in that liver support. Number 4, black radish. Even when your liver finally starts doing its job again, there's one hidden problem almost nobody mentions: the backlog. Years of stored waste and unfinished detox that built up simply because your liver didn't have the capacity to clear it. That's exactly where black radish shines. Black radish is a round root with a tough, dark outer skin and crisp white flesh inside. It has a sharp, peppery bite, and that bite matters. It comes from nutrients that break down into isothiocyanates, compounds your liver uses to chemically tag toxins so they can actually be carried out of the body. Think of it this way: cruciferous vegetables help activate the system, but black radish helps move more of the material out by supporting the packaging and exit steps of detox. That's why it was once one of the most common radishes across Europe. During long winters of heavier meals and slower digestion, people leaned on black radish because it helped them process food better. They didn't know the chemistry, they just felt the difference. To use it, keep it simple. Buy the fresh root peel, the dark skin, if it's black radish, and slice it. Red radishes also contain many of the same helpful compounds and are usually ready to eat. If you can tolerate it, keep a bit of the greens since they carry nutrients too. The inside is a surprisingly mild white center, and you can eat it raw, dip it, or treat it like any other root vegetable. For an easy daily dose, grate 1 to 2 tablespoons of peeled radish into a salad, or even a warm dish. That's often enough to get a liver response without overwhelming your system. If the raw flavor is too strong, roast it. Roasting softens the sharp bite while keeping most of the compounds your liver needs. And if you don't want the taste at all, black radish also comes in capsule or powder form. I include it in my liver support because it's such a key food for helping the liver power through that backlog. If you go the supplement route, look for whole black radish, not just extracts, for the most complete benefits. Number 3, dandelion root. Now that bile is flowing again, there's another issue your liver has to overcome: congestion. It's that heavy backed up pressure that builds when bile hasn't moved well for a long time. Dandelion root has been used for centuries for exactly this reason. In early spring, after long winters of heavier foods and very little fresh produce, people would go out and pick the first young dandelion shoots they could find. I still remember the fields near where we lived in Iowa, just blanketed in dandelions when spring arrived. Back then, people didn't know the science of bile flow. They just knew one thing: dandelions help their bodies shake off that thick, sluggish winter feeling. Here's why it works. The natural bitterness in dandelion root activates receptors in your gut, which signals the liver and gallbladder to release fresh bile. Not the thick, stagnant kind, but bile that moves more freely and is less likely to become heavy again. And that's what makes dandelion different from the other foods we've covered. It doesn't only help bile move in the moment, it supports healthier bile flow over time so your liver stops falling behind. And when it's not constantly playing catch-up, it can spend more energy doing what you want, most burning of fat. Dandelion root also helps soothe the liver itself. When bile sits too long, it can irritate liver tissue. The compounds in dandelion root help calm that irritation, so the liver can handle meals without feeling overwhelmed every time you eat. If you're going to use dandelions, choose the root, not the leaf. The root is where the liver's supporting compounds are concentrated. A simple way to use it is as steep 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried root in hot water for 10 to 15 minutes. If you want stronger support for a short stretch, you can drink 2 to 3 cups a day. If tea isn't convenient, a tincture or powder works too. Add about a teaspoon of dandelion root tincture to a little water up to 3 times a day for a fast option. And if the taste is too strong, mix in a squeeze of lemon, or choose a capsule made with whole dandelion root. That's what I do. I use a capsule form in my daily liver support so I can get it consistently without dealing with boiling and brewing. For the best timing, take it before meals when possible, especially before your biggest meal of the day, because that's when your liver needs the most help. I typically take mine in the morning. Number 2, cruciferous vegetables. Now that your liver is finally awake and moving again, the next priority is helping it manage everything it has to process during the day. Even if you eat well, your liver is constantly dealing with more than just food. It must filter chemicals from cleaning products, pollutants in the air, residues from food and water, and the metabolic waste your body naturally creates every day. When that burden builds up faster than the liver can clear, fat burning slows down. This is where cruciferous vegetables make a major difference. Their impact has been tested in real-world conditions. In one study conducted in a densely populated region of China, participants drank a simple beverage made from broccoli sprouts. Within just 24 hours, their bodies showed a dramatic increase in clearing airborne toxins. That result wasn't accidental. It came from activating a powerful internal switch known as NRF2. NRF2 is the signal your liver uses to turn on its own antioxidant defense system. When this switch flips on the liver, ramps up production of its most important detox compound, glutathione. Glutathione acts like a cleanup crew for your body, especially the liver. It binds to toxins that have already been partially broken down, neutralizes them, and allows the liver to safely move them out through bile and urine. Once NRF2 is activated, the liver becomes faster and more efficient at clearing the buildup that normally interferes with fat burning. What makes this process even more impressive is how long it lasts. After eating cruciferous vegetables, your liver keeps those detox genes active for 48 to 72 hours. That means even modest, consistent servings can have a powerful ongoing effect. I personally aim to include these vegetables every single day. As a general guideline, about 2 servings per day works well, or roughly 100 to 300 grams, depending on how much detox support you're aiming for. Some of the most effective options for liver health include broccoli Brussels, sprouts, cabbage, kale, and cauliflower. If you really want to maximize their benefits, here's a simple but important tip. Chop the vegetables first, then let them sit for 30 to 60 minutes before cooking. This short resting period allows sulforaphane to fully form. Sulforaphane is the compound responsible for activating the NRF2 switch. When you give it time to develop, it remains active during cooking and delivers much stronger liver support once you eat it. In our household, we keep this habit simple. We regularly prepare cruciferous vegetables ahead of time and store them cut up in a bowl in the refrigerator. That way, they're always ready to cook or eat raw with our favorite dips, making liver support an easy daily routine rather than a chore. Number 1. Coffee. Now that you know how to wake your liver up in the morning, the next step is keeping that momentum going throughout the day. Your liver relies on a network of natural enzymes to break down stored fat and neutralize the chemicals you're exposed to daily. The problem is that in many adults, those enzymes become sluggish. Years of excess sugar, frequent medications, and highly processed foods force the liver to overwork. And over time, that constant strain dulls enzyme activity. This is where coffee comes in. And surprisingly, it's not the caffeine doing the heavy lifting. Coffee is packed with powerful antioxidants, especially one called chlorogenic acid. For many people, coffee is actually their largest daily source of antioxidants. These compounds send a signal to the liver to reactivate its enzyme systems. Once those enzymes are switched back on, the liver becomes far more effective at burning fat and clearing toxins from the body. Coffee's benefits don't stop there. Large population studies have shown that people who drink coffee regularly develop far less liver scarring over time. The antioxidants help calm chronic irritation in liver tissue, which is what eventually leads to fibrosis. And one of the most surprising findings of all is this: consistent coffee drinkers have been shown to have up to a 70% lower risk of dying from chronic liver disease. Most people have no idea their daily cup of coffee is quietly doing that much to protect them. So, here's how to use coffee the right way. First, drink it after your lemon water. I personally like having coffee after a workout, or slightly later in the morning when I want an energy boost. The lemon water helps get digestion and bile flow moving first. Then coffee steps in and activates the liver's enzyme systems, so those antioxidants can actually be used effectively. Second, keep your coffee as clean as possible. The closer to black, the better. Choose organic beans whenever you can, because coffee plants tend to absorb more pesticides than many other crops. Avoid flavored syrups, artificial sweeteners, and chemical creamers. All of those just add extra stress for the liver to deal with. If you want to enhance the flavor, stick to simple, clean additions. A small amount of organic creamer, a splash of full-fat cream, a bit of pure monk fruit, collagen, protein, powder, or cinnamon all work well. Cinnamon in particular has the added benefit of supporting blood sugar balance, which further reduces the liver's workload. In terms of quantity, most research shows the strongest liver benefits in the range of 1 to 3 cups per day, depending on your tolerance. If you're sensitive to caffeine, a half calf or a clean Swiss processed decaf is a good option. These still contain many of the same liver-supporting antioxidants. Just avoid flavored decaf coffees, since they often use harsh chemical solvents. When used this way, coffee stops being just a morning habit. It becomes one of the simplest daily tools you have for supporting liver health and turning fat burning back on. I actually have a full video that goes deeper into how to use coffee specifically for fat loss, and I'll include a link to that in the description below for anyone who wants to explore it further. If you've made it this far, you now understand the real reason so many people struggle to lose weight even when they're doing everything right. It's not just calories, it's not just willpower, it's whether your liver can actually keep up, move bile, clear the backlog, calm inflammation, and respond to insulin the way it's supposed to. Start simple. Pick 1 or 2 foods from this list and use them consistently for the next 2 weeks. Let your liver catch its breath. Let it clear what's been slowing it down. Because when your liver is supported, fat burning stops feeling like a fight and starts feeling like your body is finally working with you again. If you want, comment below with the number that surprised you the most and tell me which one you're going to try first. I read the comments and I responded. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bells so you don't miss the next videos. I'll be sharing more simple science-backed strategies to support liver health, reduce belly fat, and make weight loss feel easier and more natural as you get older.